Here we are again, QuickBooks 2013. In this video, we are going to be covering the vendors section. So the vendors under home, you have it right here. To the left hand side, you have it right over here. And above, you have it right over here. That's right. You can't run away from it. So under vendors is basically, once again, the area that we're going to cover in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is go to enter bills. The first thing I'd like to point out is you have your menu bar up here once again. Everyone is going to be a little bit different depending on what screen you are. So for enter bills, these are your options. You have an option over here to either make this a bill or a credit. So if you got a credit memo from a vendor, this is where you turn it into a credit. So first we're going to do a bill. We're going to take vendor. I'm going to make steel bargain. And we'll make this 12. Actually, we'll make this of January 15, 2012. Reference number, no. Amount, we bought this forklift for $7,853. The bill is due because we are such great clients. We get net 60. So it automatically gives you your date over here, or you can manually choose your date. I'm going to go to expenses, or you have items. In this case, because I actually purchased an item and it was not an expense, I will go to item. And yes, we have our forklift Mamma Jamma over here. It says the cost is $15,750, but I guess I got a discount this time around. I'm going to hit OK, hit yes. And then the next thing you're going to see over here, it says customer job. And so because I bought this forklift for the sale that I made under Warehouse Direct, I am going to choose Warehouse Direct as a customer job. However, I will not make it billable. So once again, customer job means that you basically want to track this purchase that you're making against the sale that you made. And that way you can contrast that I sold it for 78, or I bought it for 7,800, I sold it for this. This is what you would put customer job over here for, is for reporting purposes. This billable thing over here, it basically means if you want this bill that you got billed to your customer. In this case, it's not, because we actually made a profit. This would come into play, for example, if I were a lawyer and I just got charged court fees. And so here I am putting in the bill for the court fee that I had to pay, but I want to make it billable to my client because my client is the one who pays for the court fees, not me. That's when you would choose this. In this case, we're not going to choose it. I'm going to hit save and close. Hit yes. Hit yes. I actually decided to bring this entering bill screen back. And I'm going to go back to the transaction that we entered. And the next option that I'm going to do over here is called pay bills. So what I wanted to show you that what's cool about QuickBooks 2013 is that it kind of leads the way to the next step. And the next step over here is to, once you've entered the bill, is to pay the bill. Now if I did exit out over here, I have the pay bills over here, and I have it under vendors and pay bills. So either way, there's a lot of different places, but if I was in this area for enter bill, this is where I could basically go back and I can go ahead and pay this bill right here. So we are under pay bills, and you will see that this bill came up for what we want to pay. Of course, if you have multiple bills, you can check them or uncheck them. So you can filter it by and so whatnot. And then over here, we could set discounts if we had discounts, set credits if we had credits. We will be covering a lot of these features more down the line. Right now, we're keeping it basic, which is I want to basically go ahead and pay this bill. So the payment date, due date was on 3/15. We will pretend that we paid it on 3/1, and that way we have enough time to cut the check, sign it, mail it. Method is check or credit card. Let's say we paid by check. Check could either be to be printed if you use the printing feature. If you handwrite your check, we're just going to assign a check number. And then over here, You get to choose whether it's checking or savings. Of course, if your bank is not here, you simply just add new, and you can add a new bank on the fly. So there's a lot of things you can do on the fly, which is why I don't stress the chart of accounts big time in the beginning. I do try to cover what I have, but I always know that I can keep adding things on the fly. It's not the end of the world. For now, we're going to say checking, pay selected bills, and this is where I get to put the check number that I wrote. So this was check number 1955, and I'm going to hit OK. Hit yes. You can either pay more bills or hit done. I'm going to save and close this. I'm going to go back to my vendor center, and under my vendor center I will be able to see the history of what we just did, which is kind of like customer center. And so I could see that we made a bill and we paid off the bill with this check. Number 199. Of course, if I need to change this, just double click on it and I can do whatever I want with it. So we are back home under vendors. Next thing we're going to do is cover purchase orders. Purchase orders is basically a request to make a purchase through your vendor, whereas bill, you already received the goods, so you got a bill, or they already shipped it. Purchase order is once again the request before you actually get the items. So under vendor 1, I'll go to Steel Bargain, and I'm going to make a purchase order and go to item, and we'll still stick with a Mama Jamma, and we want to basically run a promo on it. We want to have it in stock in the warehouse, so we're going to do quantity 3, and we're getting a discount for purchasing 3 at a time. So we're going to do 6,500. There is no customer against it because we're going to hold it for stock. I'm going to hit save and new, or up here, by the way, you could have a drop ship too. Once again, we're not drop shipping this to a customer. And your templates, as you know, you have different templates you can choose from. Right now everything is standard. We will go into more details on that in future videos. But for now, back to what we're doing is we are basically making a purchase order. I'm going to hit save and new or save and close, either way. Actually, let's go ahead and go back to purchase orders. And we are back to the icons up here again, which kind of gives you an idea of what to do next. So let's say a week has gone by, you've received your items. We're going to create item receipts. Steel Bargain. It says over here, open purchase orders exist. Do you want to receive against one or more of these orders? And the answer is yes. It's going to be against this PO right here that we did. And this is what we received. So remember, right now we're receiving the items into the warehouse. I'm going to hit save and new. I'm going to hit yes. And we are back to the home, to the vendor section. That was one way of receiving inventory, which was receiving inventory without a bill. We're going to take it one step back. I'm going to actually delete this over here. I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to X out. And now I'm going to show you a different method. A different method would be receive inventory with bill. The difference without bill is that I would have to go manually to enter a bill. I want to cut through that process. I'm going to go to receive inventory with bill. Select the vendor. Hit yes again. I'm going to select the check mark. And right away, it kind of took me into bill mode. So I'm receiving the items and I'm already recording a bill. The bill number was 9915610, whatever it is I said. Memo is receipt of Mama Jamma. Doesn't even matter, you don't even really have to. Save and close. Hit yes. And we are back home. Of course, I can always go to my vendor center. My vendor center is going to show me the transactions, or I can go back to this screen and I could have just hit save and new, and right away I can go to pay bills. So I am back at my actual bill that we just received, and over here, if you're ready to pay it, instead of hitting save and close, you would have hit save and new. Pay bills takes you right into this pay bill motion that we talked about. And if you choose credit card, you can choose whatever credit card you want. If you paid in with credit card or check, we already went through this process. And that pretty much covers vendors for this video. We will get in more depth on other features as well, but this is good enough to get you started knowing how to enter a bill, pay a bill, put in a PO, receive items, enter a bill again, and pay that bill as well. And everything you can monitor under your vendor center. Everything's there. Reporting and so whatnot. Like I said, we will go into more details, and that takes care of this video.